Hey everyone! Last week I made a video where I tried to get 50,000 guests on the same ride. Well, at some point disaster struck as I clicked the button to remove all guests. But yeah, I thought I had to do everything all over again. But in a big brain move I found out that I had actually saved the game right before everything went wrong. So thankfully all the track is still here. So yeah, I can try this challenge again. Now there's a few things I'm going to change this time. First off, I'm just going to add a little chain lift right after the station. That should help the boats leave. I want them to get out of the station more quickly. And I'll also add a chain lift here for the next boat to be able to enter the station more quickly. I think I'm also going to make the boats a little bit shorter. And I'll also make them, yeah, I'll just make sure there are more boats. Not really sure if this is going to help my challenge, but I think it will look nicer to see more boats go around. Okay, just going to disable vehicle limits, that's already set. Let's see, let's go to 150 trains, or cars as they are called here. And I'll make them a bit shorter, alright? Another thing I'm going to do is a suggestion I saw from someone in the comments. I'm going to move the entrance more to the middle of the station, and that should help guests get into the boats more quickly. Hope I didn't move it back too much. Alright, like that. Something else I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second station. Because for the first few trains it takes a while for the guests to actually reach the station, and they will just leave without waiting for the full load. So I figured if I actually let them leave from a station somewhere over here, I believe the trains will all spawn from this station, and so for the first train to reach this station with all the guests it will take a while. So that should give the guests enough time to fill up this queue. At least that's my theory. We're going to see if it actually works like that. Okay, I do have to build an exit for this station. I'll just build it over here. Let's disable clearance checks. And I'll just make it invisible. Actually, we need this station to be the second station, so let's see if that happens. Okay, looks like my plan didn't work. The trains still leave from this station, but I think I can live with this. I'll just add a few extra trains. Okay, I'm just going to fill up the park with guests and then I can try the challenge again. I just made an interesting discovery. Now that I made the train shorter, the ride actually waits for the boat to get full. At least the boats are not filling up right now. So that's a good sign. It means we will have full boats throughout this episode. That'd be really nice. Now I'm going to add a few more entertainers, because entertainers help the guests forget how long they've been in the queue. So that should be quite helpful. Now, normally I would name all these entertainers, but I think it's a bit too many for me to do that. So it will just be Bob and his army of numbered entertainers. Alright, that's the first boat full of happy guests leaving. So yeah, this is looking good so far. Queue is filling up nicely, so let's just keep this going. It does look like some of the boats are leaving without being completely filled up. So I'm just going to set a minimum wait time, and that should help counter this issue. Okay, it looks like we have the bug again where a train doesn't want to leave the station, so I'll just have to stop touching this minimum wait time setting and just try and keep the queue filled up as much as possible. Now, I was just thinking, one thing I may be able to do is to change this ride into a ride type that immediately calculates its stats, and then turn on the cheats to allow guests to ignore intensity, and then they should actually all jump into the queue, and that might allow me to fill up the queue more quickly. So let's just quickly check if it works. I'll save before I do it, just in case it doesn't work out. So let's do a crooked house. Now obviously the track will become invisible if I do that. Alright, I just quickly tried it out in a different map, and it should calculate its stats soon-ish, but it might take a while depending on. Yeah, there was a bug in this game because of the new bigger amount of ride slots that it could take a while for a ride to actually calculate its stats. So yeah, let's just see what happens. But if it calculates its stats, that would be nice, because then we can just enable this cheat, and then a lot more guests should enter the queue. Okay, I now changed the ride into a lift, and doing that turns it into a transport ride, which means guests will always ride it regardless of its stats, as long as it's free. And since it has stats now, if a ride doesn't have stats, only 10% of the guests who enter the queue will actually go into the ride. But since it has stats now, that's no longer true. So all the guests that arrive here when the queue is not full should go into it. So as you can see, the queue is now actually completely filled up, so I think this was a nice strategy. This should definitely help filling up all of the boats. I saw some of them weren't completely full when they left. So I think this change definitely makes the situation more easy for me. Okay, we now have almost 6,000 guests on the ride, so we're around 1/10 of the way to our goal. Okay, I almost again clicked the remove guests button there. I should remember to stay away from that. Okay, we now have let's see, almost 10,000 people on the trains. So that means we're around 1/5 of the way there. Now we'll have to wait a bit, so that gives me some time to decorate this area over here. And what better way to decorate it than with an army of Mr. Bones? Actually, let's not put them in front of the station, because I need to see what's going on there. Now, I wanted to know where the first train was, but the game is not able to locate it, so I would have to do that manually. Let's quickly go for a look. You can see all the trains or boats moving along the track here. Quite a lot of them already. Alright, our first train is over here. It's gonna take a while for it to complete this track. Okay, I saw that the guests start off quite hungry and thirsty in this scenario, and also very unhappy. So I just changed those options in the scenario options, and that should get guests to stick around a little bit longer in the park. I believe guests who are leaving the park can still ride transport rides in this game. So I just put a banner in front of the entrance so guests cannot leave the park, and then I'll just see if that's true. Alright, this should again make it quite a lot easier for me to actually do this. So it seems like the guests who are all trying to leave the park will still go into this queue. So that's quite nice, then I don't have to spam this button as much, since guests won't be able to leave the park. Nice to see one of the trains pass by here, finally. This is the first train of the ride, so it has finally completed a lap of this track. Okay, we're almost halfway there. We're at 24,884 guests right now. So yeah, I definitely think it's possible. It's nice to see that when the game's running at the normal speed, it's running at around 40 FPS. So I think that's the usual frequency the game runs on. So that's really nice. Of course, it does drop a bit when we go to a higher speed, but yeah, that's normal. Okay, just gonna continue going on like this. It's nice to see some trains pass by for their second lap. Okay, it looks like something interesting just happened. Looks like the number of people on ride has overflowed. Obviously it was not designed to hold such a big amount of people. So right now it's at minus 31,000 and it's counting back. Yeah, some quick math tells me we should get to minus 10,000 and then we're at the required amount of guests. Or minus 12,000 probably will do the trick. Okay, it looks like the first train is now going for its third lap. So yeah, that's come quite a far way. Looks like we have around 40,000 guests in the park, so I'm assuming that's also the amount of guests we have on this ride. Yeah, it would take some math. We would have to count down from minus 32,000. But yeah, I'll just use the amount of guests we have in the park as an estimate. I believe we have to get to minus 12,000 and then we have enough guests on the ride. So let's just carry on doing this. Okay, we're up to minus 17,612 people. If my calculations are correct, that means we need around 5,000 people more. I'm just going to go up to minus 10,000 just to be sure, and then for sure we will have enough guests on our ride. Okay, we now have 51,000 guests in the park, or almost 52,000. And all the guests that we have are actually on this ride over here. So that means we have at least 50,000 guests in in the park on our ride. Now quickly going to drop a save here, and let's check here in the guest menu. So there's 51,904 people on Mr. Bones' Wild Boat Ride. They all look very happy. They all seem to be having a very good time here, so that's really nice. Okay, well, of course I cannot just stop this video now without actually letting these boats reach their destination. Now, I am not going to wait until all these boats finish all these laps. That would take several hours, and I'm not going to sit and watch these boats for that long. I think that would be a very uninteresting video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little shortcut here to the exit, so we can see at least some of the boats reach their destination. Now, it looks like the game doesn't like to draw these track elements. Not really sure what's going on. Maybe there's too much stuff for the game to draw. But this does not look very normal. Anyway, I'm just going to make a little merge here, and that should allow these boats to go to this track over here. Okay, it looks like our little shortcut is working, and the boats get nicely get diverted onto this track over here. Already some of the boats made it onto this track. No, I don't really know why I made it this long, because it will take a while for the boats to actually reach their destination here. But of course it was first designed for trains with 255 cars or boats. Okay. We're getting closer to the destination, finally. These guys must be so thrilled. Alright, so is it possible to have more than 50,000 guests on the same ride? Yes, it is. Is this a dump challenge that totally isn't worth all the effort I put into it? Probably. Was it fun though? For sure. Now let's go enjoy the end result. Alright, I hope you all enjoyed this challenge. It definitely took the game to its limits, but I'm glad I managed to get it done. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you enjoyed this challenge, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.